Baker live in my Jeep truck. I just wanted to pop on for just a second. Just got off work. I've been drooling over getting to communicate and say hi to you guys all day. And I just wanted to pop in for a second and say thank you guys so much for watching and listening to our podcast. We have a incredible podcast that we are getting ready for you guys this week. We'll be interviewing another Gold Star family, one that their service member died in one of the AAV accidents. There was 9 that died in this one AAV accident. They're Marines. And so we will be interviewing the family coming up on Thursday, which means that the episode should be out pretty quickly after that, within the next day or so. A lot is happening. A lot has happened ever since we left CrimeCon, and that's just been like a couple days. So first of all, you guys helped us push past, oh my gosh, we were at something like less than 30 followers, and then in 3 hours we were over 1,500. So it's just like incredible what you guys were able to do to give us a voice. There's just a lot going on with all of these cases. We've got stuff happening and coming about every day, and we are joining forces, many of us families, to go to DC for Advocacy Week, for Save Our Service Members Advocacy Week. There's an organization called Save Our Service Members that was just created this last year as a result of some of the families, like Des Del Barba, who died, God bless America. He did not die, thank you, Jesus. But he was severely wounded because back at basic training, they didn't give him the proper treatment medically. He was had strep, and they let it go. A $2 penicillin shot would have saved him from losing a leg and a lot of his epidermal layers. And so Des, he's actually, we're going to actually be interviewing him soon as well. I cannot wait to meet him. I've spoken to his mother a bunch, Cammy Delbarba, and she's a sweetheart. And let me tell you something, these aren't just any family that they're messing with. These are military families that they're messing with, these things are happening to, and it's just, they've gotten so lackadaisical about taking care of their service members. They don't care who it is, So we're coming together to support our service members, and families, whether Gold Star families or Wounded Warriors. And we are trying to bring awareness to these non-combat incidents and deaths. And we are pressing forward to use our First Amendment rights to be able to speak and petition the courts, which is one of the parts of the First Amendment rights that we forget about sometimes. We have the right to petition the courts, to petition the government, and petition for new legislation. And so that is one of the things that we are looking into. And many have gone before us to try to do this and make this happen, like Commissioner Block. Her family is, her sister, Shanta, has been doing this for 15 years, and Commission's case is one of the only cases, I think the only case that has ever been reopened, and then of course closed again. They've done a congressional and nothing has happened, and her death was a murder-suicide. And many of these families are losing hope, and they're getting tired of fighting, and here you guys come along and give us a voice. It is because of you that we have a voice. And thank you, because the media will not give us a voice. That's why I'm having to sit in my car right now and talk to you. If the media, if the DOD would just get their shit together, and if the media wasn't so afraid of losing their jobs, because the DOD will shut them down. We've had journalists actually lose their jobs before for reporting on these non-combat deaths. So anyway, we need all the help that we need right now. What I would really like to do is be able to get all the families there free of charge. I would love to be able to ask you guys to help us raise money to get these families there. If you're interested in that, well then you can go to U.S. Military LockedandLoadedDiaries.com, and we have a link on there where you can donate. Otherwise, I mean, I'm going anyway. I'll pay pay on my own pocket. It's a whole week in DC, so we'll need we got to pay for our airplane ticket. We've got to pay for a room, and many of us don't mind staying, sharing a room or whatever. But if you're interested in helping us, maybe you could even adopt a family that needs help. We could even, if you adopted a family, gosh, I'll send you something special. Maybe, I'm even thinking I'll have some dog tags made, and I will send you guys a dog tag, one of Caleb's dog tags, if you donate to sponsor a family to go to DC. It's June 13th through the 17th, and we will be. We have a whole week of events planned. If you're interested in seeing what those events are and even coming out and joining us, supporting us, if you go to our page on Facebook, I have up on our Facebook page right now, I have the event posted and all of the information. But if you are interested in a monetary donation, which would really help us right now, just because we're trying to get to DC, then that would be awesome. You just go to U.S. Military LockedandLoadedDiaries.com, and we have a little section up there for donations. If you donate, please make sure you include your information, mailing address, all of that kind of thing, so that we can properly thank you. And then, of course, I would love to send you something very special. But I think the most important thing is that we share these stories. So as we bring you the stories, you can share the stories. Subscribe, share. If you comment, that helps us, because it just creates I guess it does something with the algorithm, and it causes more people to be able to hear and see the broadcast. We are also talking about wounded warriors here, not just Gold Star families that have lost service members. We're talking about wounded warriors, people like Des Del Barba, who lost a lot of his epidermis because of not having had a penicillin shot that would have saved his leg. He actually had to have part of his leg amputated. I mean, Des has to live the rest of his life this way. He has a mission to support children who've lost a limb, and help provide money to just allow them to have prosthetics. Kids grow out of prosthetics very quickly because they're growing. My best friend is one of those people. My best friend, her name is Ashley, and she was born without legs. and she's worn prosthetics her entire life. Now the Shriners were able to help her, but I just love what Des is doing. He was wounded. He's a wounded warrior, and look at what he's doing, you guys. So if you want to contribute to that cause, I will be. I have the information for that, and we'll be talking more about that. I mean, wow. So inspiring, and I cannot wait to interview this young wounded warrior. He doesn't even know a whole lot about the military because he was only in basic training, and this is what happened when he was in basic training. So, I mean, a lot of our service members are young and they're dying like fresh out of basic training or in basic training. Oh my goodness. Did you guys know there's 22 people on here right now? And did you know that 22 servicemen a day, they take their own lives? 22 a day, you guys. It's just, there's so much. Oh, wow, you're at Norfolk. That's where Brandon Concerta was at. I was telling his story last night. Brandon Concerta, he was sent to Norfolk, and he was abused. It was toxic, abusive leadership that killed Brandon Concerta, and he was at the Norfolk Navy base. He was a Navy SEAL training. He broken his leg. They kept making him run on it, a broken leg, and then he collapsed, and they made him ring the bell to get out of the training. Sorry, I'm trying to look at your comments, and I had my finger over the camera there. Sorry about that. Didn't want you to not get to see my beautiful face after a long days of work, folks. I've been taking care of kids all day. But seriously, Brandon didn't have to die the way he did, but he chose to die the way he did because he didn't see another way out, because of all of the abuse, and his family had already tried to help him communicate. They were in communication with his command, and it's devastating. But if you want to hear Brandon's story, just please go on to our Locked and Loaded Diaries channel here, and listen to the Brandon Concerta story. Hey, if you're not into watching us, you can always find these podcasts on all the other major podcast networks. I like to listen to it on Audible, but that's just me. I think there's Apple and some other ones too. So, but anyway, just sitting here in my truck after a long day's work. There's a lot been happening. I've been talking all day with different Gold Star families, and like I said, we're trying to get to Washington, D.C. to stand in mass on June the 13th to the 17th for a Save Our Service Members Week. And like I said, if you would like to help us out, it would really help us out, all of us families. If you want to sponsor a family to be able to get there, you can go to U.S. Military LockedandLoadedDiaries.com, and you can make a donation. And I know that it will help families. If I could just give them, each family, something to contribute to them getting there, that would really help all of us out. Even if I could just pay for their plane tickets or something. Anyway, like if you want to sponsor a family, then please let us know. So let's see who I have here. Thank you. I think what you guys, seriously, like if you like our channel, if you subscribe, if you watch the videos and you share them, if you comment, that helps us out a whole lot. If you want to call your congressman or woman after you watch these horrific, detailed, I don't like to call them stories because they're real life. It's all in real life, folks, and it's happening now. Events, experiences, we're walking through it every day. We need as much help from Congress as we can get. We need as much help from we the people. You guys have got to reach your congressmen and women to please let them know what's going on. We have already sent letters. There's people that came before us that have pressed on these issues, like Kamisha Block. Shanta Block, her sister. And these families are just tired. I talked to Shanta today, and I asked her if she would please, let us interview her. And she's just tired. She just is exhausted, and she doesn't have it in her anymore. And I understand it. I'll tell her story. I'll tell her sister's story. She doesn't have to say anything. I told Shanta, she found me, and she's been fighting all these years. And like I said, she was a really young lady when her sister died, and she's been fighting all these years, and she's still pretty young. But, she's been doing nothing but fighting for justice, and she hasn't really gotten to live her own life and be, the life that you have as a young lady has been spent on justice. And so now she has an opportunity to just, she's done everything she can. The commission's case has been reopened a number of times, and they've already had a congressional. There's nothing else they can do. You see somebody like that pushing forward for all of these years, and she's just you kind of tend to lose hope. But I'm not going to stop. I told her I'm going to pick up where she left off, and she supports us, and we're going to all move forward. She's very proud of me. She's very proud of all of us, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's every day waking up and boots on the ground, and you're in a tent on the battleground. Can I catch you up real quick? What do you mean, what part? It would take a lot to catch you up. We are a podcast, a video podcast, and we're also on all the other podcast platforms, but we talk about non-combat deaths, and I'm the mother of a service member who died non-combat, Caleb Smither, in the United States Army. He was a paratrooper. He died in 2020. He was the first death on base in 2020, and he died negligent homicide and medical malpractice. And I thought that I was like it was some rare situation, and it's not. It happens. 75% of our service members die non-combat. I'm just gonna let that sink in. 75% of our service members die non-combat deaths, and of that 75%, 93% die on U.S. soil. That's recent congressional research that can be found on calebsmither.com. That's my son's website. Oh man, Fort Bragg's only about 2 hours from me, man. It's way too far for me. I wish I lived there, because I'd be probably banging on that gate every single day. You know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? Know what I mean, Vern? Yeah. So if you want to see that congressional research, you can go to calebsmither.com, and on the homepage, I have that research on there. Yeah, Jason, it's okay. I appreciate you asking the question, and I really do. Yeah, there's just a lot to catch you up on, so you just have to keep watching. And Jason, I would definitely go and watch some of these podcast videos that we've done, and we've got more coming out every week. We have a mother that we're going to interview this week. Her son was in the AAV accident that killed 9 in the Marines some months ago. And so her name is Christiana Sweetwood. And I've met, there's 9 more, like 9 more families to be interviewed on that one particular incident. We have Justice for Ronnie that we're going to be interviewing, his mom. Guys, it's a floodgate of families. Yes, I like how you said that, Fizzle. This channel seeks justice for wounded warriors and families, service members of fallen soldiers who are getting no justice. Yeah, and let me just say that the reason that you're not hearing about any of these stories, you're only going to hear about it from the families, and nobody knows the families except for us, because the DOD doesn't want to blemish on their image. And so the media doesn't want to cover these cases that are like high profile cases that nobody even knows about. And we just thought all of you guys should know how they treat us families, and how there is no justice, and what bars us from the justice. It's called the Ferris Doctrine, and we need to amend the Ferris Doctrine to, it would really just be a simple amendment to define the term incidents of service. What dying in the incidents, or not dying, not just dying, but being wounded in the incidents of service. And I will explain that a little bit more to you as we go. There's just so much. Guys, this is like 2.5 years of information that I have to give you, that I have learned over the last 2.5 years. I realized that I couldn't get upset at anybody for people not knowing. I didn't know. I hadn't even heard of the Ferris Doctrine or the Stuyvesant Act. I had no idea. I had no idea that our soldiers, our servicemen, sailors, airmen, and Marine die these horrifying non-combat incident deaths, or they're wounded. And for instance, it's going to take a lot for Camille Del Barbara, her son Des, even to get the adequate care he needs. He didn't expect to almost die at basic training from strep. And this kid lost, his part of his leg had to be amputated, and 75% of his tissue was affected. And so his body has been burnt, chemical burn. I can't even imagine. I can't wait to interview this young man and his girlfriend who stood by him this whole time. God bless. This kid is 19 years old or something, just like my son, who died alone in his room, was laid in his room for 6.5 days after he'd gone to the ER to get help. The first time he was turned away from the Womack Army Medical Center and told to go see his primary care provider. And then he went to the ER 2 more times, and he still didn't get any help. They sent him back to his room to die alone miserably in his room. And I didn't know about it. I have to hear about it 8 days later. On the 22nd is when they notified me. They were saying that it was going to take a whole 3 weeks to get his body home. And my congressman said, no, that ain't happening. And so he got right on the horn and made sure that Caleb's body got home sooner. But then they really screwed up, and they didn't let me know that his body was too decomposed to be viewable at his funeral. They waited an entire week, even though in the investigation I read, that they were spraying Febreze to cover up the smell of his dead body. They knew the second they walked in, before the second they walked in, that he was gone. So why wouldn't they tell me? Why wouldn't they tell me right then and there that his body was too decomposed to be viewable? They made me have hopes. I was planning on getting to see my son again, even though he wasn't going to be alive. I was going to have an open casket so that we could all like grieve properly. And no, they send him home in a body bag to me. And the way they've treated myself, not just me, but so many families, is horrifying. You guys need to understand how they treat us. It's just like, it's not, and we don't all get the same treatment. Some of us get bamboozled in different ways and get special treatment, and some of us get told we can't even come on base to the memorial like they did at Terry Caserta and Patrick Caserta's case with Brandon. Oh, goodness. Just going through some of the comments, and I just wanted to, I'm about to go train my dog. It's one of my things I love to do. I have a Belgian Malinois, and her name is Z-E-E, and we're gonna go train at the park. I broke my pinky, as you can see, it's all messed up. Oh my gosh, it's so bad, guys. I thought I was gonna have to have surgery on it, and I probably still am, but I may have to have a joint replacement surgery on this pinky. Did you know that you can have joint replacement surgeries on your fingers? Oh my God. But let me tell you guys, just please pray that my finger gets better, because I really need this to heal. Because like working out really helps the grief process, and I can't really do that with my hand right now. I lift weights. And then training my dog, it's kind of, it's kind of hard to do when you have a broken pinky. So my dog trainer is going to meet me at the park in a little bit, and I'm going to do, my dog has a lot of bite training and defensive training in her. She's a Belgian Malinois. I'm serious about protecting myself and making sure that I'm safe. I'm sure there's a lot of people that probably don't like me speaking out and like what I do. So I know how to take care of myself, and I have basically a canine that is trained to protect me. She's a little werewolf, let me just tell you. If you've ever seen the movie Dog, that's my dog, Belgian Malinois. But anyway, my trainer, he's kind enough, he's gonna do some bite training and tug work with her in a few minutes, because I really can't do that safely right now. So this has about 6 more weeks before I can really do anything with it. I'm also I like to do competitive shooting, and so I'm kind of out of that right now too. Don't worry, I can defend myself though. I can still use my weapon, but I don't want to waste the bullets when I'm on competition whenever I'm like this. So anyway, I'm kind of just in between a rock and a hard place, but it's causing me to have to slow down a little bit more. Yes, she is my protection. If you guys go on, okay, so I have a couple different places if you want to follow me. I'm on Instagram as Hedge76. That's HEDGE 76. You can see pictures of my dog and me, and I'm an artist, and I have a bunch of stuff on there that you guys might think is cool. On TikTok, I have a personal TikTok. It's if you look up Hedge76 or Hedge360, Hedge, HEDGE is my nickname. But anyway, you can see some videos of her on there. I just think are kind of fun. And then if you just go to calebsmither.com, at the very top, I have all of Caleb's social media platforms on there as well. The Brandon Act, Terry Caserta's website is thebrandоnact.org. And then U.S. Military Locked and Loaded Diaries.com is our website. I know, I really do need to, like, first of all, this needs to heal. And then I know I'm going to have some therapy on it, because it is really hard to bend it right now. I don't know. I'm just praying to God that it heals. Oh, yeah. And that's why I feel like, I mean, like, if anything happens to me, you guys are going to know exactly what happened. You guys are going to know exactly what happened if something happens to me, Kimberly or Terry. Oh, isn't Dog a great movie? Oh my gosh. It was really hard for me to watch that because of the military funeral that happened in there, and just all the military stuff. It just, like, I still remember part of our family is the Tinkers, and they, like, Tinker Air Force was named after my former husband, Reb Baker. His family are the Tinkers. And so anyway, Caleb and I we got to be a part of all of that at Tinker Air Force Base right before Caleb went into the Army. And one of the things that he really loved was the dogs. We got to, they let the family go out there, since the base is actually named after the family. They let us all go out there and check out their dog training facility and everything. And that was something that Caleb really loved. And so, I don't know, it just brings me closer to him. I think anytime I get to, train my dog, or if I get to go shoot my AR rifle, it just makes me think, it makes me feel closer to Caleb. And it just really helps my grief. Yes, thank you for paying for my pinky finger. Yes, thank you, Jason. Yes, combat vet. They did have every right to be there, the Casertas, and it's so sad that they were not allowed to go to Brandon's memorial. And they had every right to be on that base, because Brandon's dad is a retired Navy counselor, and I can't believe that they did that to their family. But that just shows you, like, in my family's case, they just, like, I mean, they were feeding us lobster dinner after Caleb's memorial. You see, it's horrifying, and it makes me so mad for the families. Oh, I'm so glad that you have a service dog. I'm getting Z trained up so that she can travel with me. She's trained in German, and she's a really amazing little obedient young lady. I love my little Belgian Malinois. She's just so amazing. She's probably sitting in the house. I'm sitting here outside the house. She's probably sitting there going, what the heck's taking her so long to get in this house and get me out of my kennel? But I am getting kind of hungry right now. I need to go feed my face before I go to go off and do some training with Z. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and just wow. I love you guys. Y'all are my front porch friends too. I've got to figure out a better name for you guys though. Like, y'all are my Locked and Loaded Diaries clan. Y'all are my dream team. Y'all are my Jeep buddies. Oh my goodness. Right, Fizzle? I love that. Lobster dinner reminds me of our command ice cream socials anytime before we had bad news given to us. Yeah. I think because I'd already gotten a hold of my congressman, so Congress had already been working with me, and so I don't think that the command really knew what to expect with me whenever I went over there. It's actually pretty funny. I'll have to tell you guys about how all that went down sometime. Let's see what time it is. Okay, I gotta go eat a little snack and then take Z to the park to do some training with her. But I'm hoping that Kimberly Walker will pop on here later on this evening and maybe do a live or something. If she doesn't, then I'm going to, because you guys are freaking amazing. And I just wanted to say again, thank you to all of my friends that I found you guys through Chasing Truth and Mr. Meanie himself. I'm so excited that I got to meet everybody, and y'all just make my heart feel so big and so happy. I'm gonna try to let this post. The one that I did last night wasn't able to post, I guess. I'm not sure why. But anyway, I'm just new at all this, but I'll be back on later, or Kimberly will be back on later. And we love you guys so much. And I just want to say, God bless America, and liberty and justice for all. So much love. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.